What is up, guys? It is your boy NCSO7 here. Welcome to the Game of the Year 2022 discussion. I am joined, of course, by my boy JasonButtholz.
Yes, it is indeed me.
His channel link will be in the description down below. And since 2022 is kind of coming to a close, we're going to be talking about most of the games that came out this year. Not all of them, but then we'll be kind of delving into our actual Game of the Years. But I'm going to just let you spoil your Game of the Year because you didn't have an answer.
I really didn't. I guess the closest, when it comes to the games I've played, I guess the closest was God of War. But, like, aside from that, I really didn't.
You wouldn't say that's your Game of the Year, though, right?
I didn't really have a bold, like, there wasn't anything that really, like, stuck out to me as a Game of the Year.
Yeah, I will definitely admit, too, like, while I do have one choice, I will admit there wasn't really anything this year that really stood out to me necessarily, but
I mean, compared to 2021.
2021 had some really good stuff. And 2020 as well. But yeah, so I guess we could start this off by first talking about something that we played that came out a previous year or something like that we first played this year and really enjoyed. You want to start with that? Only one game, though, or one series.
What is it?
Okay, mine is Project Diva. I played the Project Diva games this year. Well, 2 of them. And those are pretty fun. Pretty good rhythm games. What about you?
I honestly, I have no clue.
We'll say NBA 2K23. How about that?
Yeah, sure. I played
Even though they came out this year.
I played that a lot this year. Yeah, I did.
But it's not on the list. All right. Well,
I mean, they're honestly okay. So the one thing that I did find cool is that in the PS5 version of the game, they did add this thing called NBA eras. So you could, like, choose, like, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and, like, 2010s era of the NBA, and then you can just, like, mess up everything, or, like, do, like, simulations and stuff like that. So if you like to see, like, what would happen if you, like, made your own character and plopped them in, like, the modern NBA, like, you can do that. So, I thought there was some cool things, and, like, NBA 2K23, but overall, I mean, it's NBA 2K. We can't spend, like, all day talking about that.
Yeah, because they make them every year. All right, now it's time to finally get into the actual list of stuff. So let's start with Bayonetta 3 now. We're starting off this video with a lot of games that me personally don't have too much to say. So do you have much to say about this one?
I mean, the only thing I knew about it was the whole, like,
controversy
voice acting
yeah.
thing. Aside from that, I have not played it, so I guess I have no.
Yeah, like there was a whole thing with, like, the old voice. They changed, like, the voice actor and then the voice actress, and then like the old one. I feel like the way it went was that she got salty, and like she tried to, like, boycott the game, and she lied about how much money she was giving. Really, really stupid, but
I don't know the true story, and I don't
even know the full story.
I haven't heard both sides of it, so I have no clue.
She stopped. Eventually, people kind of just realized she eventually said something that no one else was saying. Basically, she said, like, a number of money or something like that nobody else mentioned, which kind of basically made it seem that she was lying.
Damn.
I don't know. There's, like, probably a video on YouTube, but going back to, like, the game, we don't really have too much to say. It was probably good, but still. So, then next game we got is Multiverses. I did not play this either.
I did not play it, and I don't know how I feel about Smash Bros. Clones. I like the characters in it, and the characters being in it interest me, but I made a promise to myself that if they don't add the Animaniacs into this game, I'm not touching it.
Yeah. I haven't played it. I don't really know. Smash Bros. Clones are always kind of a mix where it's like sometimes they might be alright, but other times they're not good. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. And then we got The Last of Us Part 1 remake. This game got a bit of controversy because people did not really want this because it was basically $70 for, like, a remake of a PlayStation 3 game, which the game, like, Last of Us Part 1 isn't even 10 years old yet. Like, it was a little strange that they did that. And I mean, you can make your judgments about whether or not the game is worth $70 or not, but I'm sure it's probably alright.
It probably is good. It's just, like, I don't know, like, what they're doing on the drawing board when they're like, let's think of a game to remaster or remake, and they're like, oh yeah, let's do The Last of Us Part 1. They literally could have chose any other game out there.
Why not, like, Jak and Daxter? That was made by Naughty Dog as well, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. Cooper.
I've got no clue, but if it is, like, yeah, Jack
or
and
Sly
Dax-
Cooper or something like that. They could remake one of those.
That
games. Or
was-
maybe a game that you couldn't play
that
on
was,
PlayStation 5.
That was Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch did Sly.
I thought they only did one of the games.
Sucker Punch. I have no clue, but Sucker Punch did say that they were not going to do any more Sly or Infamous games. I think that's from what I heard. But Insomniac Games did when the new Ratchet and Clank game came out last year.
Rift Apart.
Yeah, they did a thing with Sly Cooper coming out of a rift. So like people like were hinting that maybe Insomniac Games will pick up something or pick up.
Hopefully, they're like the only people that really make good PS5 exclusives.
Because it really pisses me off that Sly Cooper was literally, if you 100% the last Sly Cooper game, you get like the full true ending, and basically it was left on a cliffhanger, and 10 years later, it's just left at that.
A lot of stuff is left at that, unfortunately. But going back to the Last of Us Part 1 remake, I'm sure it's probably alright. It's just not worth $70.
Yeah.
Especially when you can just get the Last of Us remastered for like $20. You may even be able to get for free a part of the PlayStation Plus.
I think I literally have it because of PlayStation Plus. So
actually, I think I got the game for free on PlayStation Plus. I mean, I bought a physical copy eventually, but like, you could get it for free on PlayStation Plus. So it's like I
would have to look through. I have so many games for PlayStation Plus, but I know
the game was free for some time because that's how I first played it.
I know there is a Last of Us game I got from PS Plus. So yeah, I must have.
It must have been that then. But yeah, moving on to the Saints Row 2022 reboot. This game also was a bit controversial because this game tried changing up things a lot. It was a lot of fans, I'd say, were not too pleased with it. Now, I don't personally know much about Saints Row. I played a little bit of the game, and it's okay, but it's kind of just a GTA clone, and I don't know. I prefer just playing GTA 5, honestly.
I played a lot of this game, actually. I haven't played much of the Saints Row series. I've played some of the games, but not like too many. But I thought this game was just kind of like okay. It didn't like blow me away, but I thought it was okay. If you're messing around with a friend, it can be fun, but you may as well just hop on GTA because the same things that you can do on Saints Row, you basically can do on GTA. But if this game was like half price or like, I don't know, on sale or something.
I mean, I bought it for $40, so there's
yeah, it could be fun to play, but overall, there's not much to like
really
say. But aside from, yeah, they did try changing things up a little bit, and it was just there wasn't anything special, I guess. It was an okay game, but there wasn't anything.
There wasn't anything special, awesome, outstanding, amazing about it. It was just kind of inexistent.
And they did add some extra things that you can mess around with, but they didn't make that like the main like focus of the game, or like you could easily overlook them. But I guess if you were bored, I guess it's something to like do.
The only thing I really remember about this game was that like my main character that I made sounded like Ryuji from Persona 5. Because I think like one of the voices for the male characters is actually Max Mittelman, who also voices Ryuji. He also voices the mayor in Bugsnax as well. So that's the only thing I really remember of the game. Other than that, it was kind of a blur. But yeah, moving on to... Oh, you're going to like this. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So, you say to them what you've said to me multiple times before.
This game makes me depressed because I don't understand what, like, you could have done Mario and Rayman. Like, I know, like, Rabbids is, like, a Ubisoft-owned, like, title when it comes to, like, video games and stuff like that, because, like, Rabbids is on, like, Uno and stuff. But what doesn't make sense to me is why Rabbids? Like, honestly, if you made any of the characters in this game, like, original and just not Rabbids, I feel like I would have a lot more, like, interest in playing this. But, like, nowhere in my life have I seen anybody wearing Rabbids merchandise or saying anything, like, good about the Rabbids, aside from saying they're really annoying as hell. And
they're basically just minions, but, like, worse.
Yeah, it just... The idea just doesn't make sense to me. The idea of a Mario RPG and the way it looks and some of like the other things in this game actually look really nice. I actually do. I didn't play it nor buy it, but I did see gameplay of it because the gameplay itself is really good. I just wish it was Super Mario RPG Sparks of Hope instead of Mario plus Rabbids. Like literally, like just like blot out the whole Rabbids thing. And I think this game would have been a lot more, like...
It would have been better.
Yeah, because, it would have
been more memorable, too.
I understand that Nintendo wants to market to kids, but I don't even think kids give a shit about the Rabbids.
The thing is, though, is that this is also like a strategy turn-based RPG, too. This isn't like a traditional turn-based. This is strategy-based. Like, you move tiles around. It's kind of almost like Fire Emblem, but, like, it's nowhere near as good. Now, I haven't played Sparks of Hope, but I did play the previous game, Kingdom Battle, and that game was kind of just okay. It wasn't really my thing at all. I don't think the game... It's weird that they made a Mario and Rabbids crossover a strategy-based turn-based RPG. That's really weird. I mean, it would have been fine if it was like a platformer or something like that. Or if they had like a crossover with another series that would have been better. Like maybe like Legend of Zelda or like Fire Emblem or like some other series. I don't know.
When it comes on sale, which it probably will, I'll probably buy it, and I'm gonna assume it'll probably be pretty good.
But I haven't heard anything bad about it.
But I'm gonna be honest. When I play it, I'm gonna feel so stupid that the Rabbids are in it, because that just ruins it. Because like kids nowadays don't even know what the Rabbids were.
Yeah.
Like, and no one gives a shit about the Rabbids, and plus they're annoying and stupid looking. So why did
I will say this though, it is good for at least the the minority of people that did actually really like Kingdom Battle, because now they got a sequel on the Switch, and now they got like 2 games they can play over and over.
But what about the bigger majority that would have loved a Super Mario RPG again?
A true Super Mario RPG too that wasn't made into paper. I think that'd be cool, but yeah, we've kind of gone on this game long enough. I don't really think we have much else to say. It's just, this could have been better if maybe it was not Rabbids. Just screw the Rabbids, really. That's all I gotta say. Then we've got, Game of the Year, Elden Ring. So this was the game that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and I don't have a lot to say. I was going to make a review of this game, but, like, I genuinely have nothing to say about it. It's an open-world Souls game. There's, like, horseback combat, even though Zelda did that years ago. I don't really get why this is the game that people say is a game-changing experience.
I just view it as a Dark Souls clone.
Well, I mean, it was made by From Software, who made the other Souls games.
I know. I just view it as a Dark Souls clone, maybe with like better graphics and more like.
It doesn't even look much better than the Demon Souls remake on PS5.
Really?
No, I think that at least in terms of frame rate, it's not as good. But it's like I prefer the Demon Souls.
I know this game was super popular, and I can see why, because all Demon Souls games are like or clones are good. Like
the Souls games are like pretty popular because they're hard. But I also feel like people people say that they're phenomenal games just because they're hard. But challenge alone doesn't inherently make a game better, in my opinion.
I mean, they all. I mean, I'm like aside.
I know that's the point of the series.
Aside
like, that doesn't inherently.
Aside from difficulty, they're all pretty much fun and they're pretty much good.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like
this game is overrated.
I mean, I don't know. I guess people probably, due to how easy it was to buy it and how easy it was to like disperse it amongst everybody, especially for how much it came on sale, I believe that people probably voted for it a lot more compared to like something like God of War, which was like $70 and came out only like a month ago.
Yeah, that is true.
So I feel like if more people were like exposed to God of War at the beginning of the year and it was on sale at a cheaper price, then I'm assuming. Or I'm pretty confident that game probably would have won.
There was Horizon. But we'll get to that one a little later. Because that game kind of got overshadowed. But we'll get to that game later down the list. But yeah, Elden Ring, pretty overrated, I would say. Then we've got Soul Hackers 2. I can keep this pretty brief because you didn't play it. This game's alright. I don't have much to say. I know a lot of people didn't really like it because they changed like the negotiation system, which was a staple of the SMT series, but like, I don't know. I thought the game was kind of just alright. It didn't sell very well, so I can't imagine Soul Hackers as a series is gonna have the strongest thing. I will say that the game looks really good though for being like Atlus's first native PS5 game. Like, it looks good, but like, I don't have anything else to say. So now we're on to, a game you have a lot to say on. Cow the Kangaroo. So this, I think, was either a remake or like a new game or something.
So KO the Kangaroo came out for like PS1. It had a whole series and stuff like that. This is a reboot, not a It's like
So
a remake.
It's a reboot.
Yeah, it's a reboot. Apparently, this is a new original game, from what I've heard. It had good potential, and they used Engine 4. I'm pretty sure.
Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 4, which made it look really nice and good, kind of like how it looks in the title right here. It did look really nice. It's just there was a lot unfinishedness that I could tell in the game, and it was glitchy at sometimes.
Yeah, you had to play through the game like twice to get the platinum trophy.
Yeah, so the thing is that when I beat the game, usually when it comes to platformers, I usually beat them and then go back and get all the collectibles, and usually by then I can get the platinum trophy by that. But when I collected everything, none of, I think, 5 trophies related to collectibles did not pop up for me. And then when I looked it up, I realized that I was not the only one this happened to, and they fucked up the fact that, like I don't know how, but they glitched the fact that, like, you can't even get an achievement. Which I don't even know how that's even, like...
possible.
So I remember, I was watching World Cup. I woke up at, like, 4 a.m. in the morning, and I grinded it out, like, till, like, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I grinded out the whole game. I went back through I restarted the game. I went through every level, making sure I did not miss a single collectible whatsoever. Because apparently, from what I read, that was the only way that you could actually, like, get the platinum without the glitch happening. But even so, I also heard that the glitch could still happen, even if you get all the collectibles throughout all the levels, in one run. So basically, that's what I did, and I did get the platinum after that, fortunately, but I shouldn't have had to. That's the thing. And I just, it kind of sucks because I do like the character KO. It's kind of got like if this game came out on like PS3 or early PS4 time,
it would have been better.
It would have been received a lot well, but for a PS5 standard, and especially trying to like advertise,
stand up to like other games,
trying to advertise and bring
other
it back.
Titans of the year, no.
Plus, I had to order this. I ordered my copy with limited run games, and it took. It's not so the game's fault, but limited run games usually takes forever. So I was hyping myself up from. I got this.
It was too long of a wait, and then the game was just disappointing.
Yeah, I ordered it in May, and I got the game in like late November. Yeah, I got the game in late November, so I waited May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I waited 7 months for it, about maybe 6-7 months, and yeah, it was just okay. But I like platformers, so I guess I was pleased personally playing this. I thought I tried adding a lot of like different features, like these elemental features to solve different puzzles, but I guess it really was just a Crash Bandicoot clone. There was a lot of areas in the game I could tell, and a lot of movesets I could tell were just ripped and straight from Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
So I guess there was some originality, but there wasn't some originality in there.
Yeah.
Overall, it was just it could.
It was bad.
It could have been better.
Yeah.
It could have been better.
I don't have much to say on it. Alright, then we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I know I made a video earlier this year talking about how not into Xenoblade, but I did actually get Xenoblade 3 when it came out, and I've only played like 6 hours of the game, but it's actually not too bad. I actually like how the game looks. It has a much better start. It starts like a lot more fast-paced than 2, where 2, it's pretty slow on the uptake, honestly. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say on this game. I know it probably pleased Xenoblade fans, and yeah, I don't have much else to say. Other than I think that the 6 characters that you see on screen are actually pretty good. They're all pretty solid in their own way. So, now this next one isn't really a game, but I figured we'd put in the Cuphead Delicious Last Course DLC that came out for Cuphead, because that was a pretty big deal. Almost as big of a deal as a new game release. So, we both played through that, and I'd say that it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
It was definitely a long wait, because this was supposed to come out like 3 years ago, but whatever. It was still good, though, at the end of the day. They had some cool new bosses and stuff like that.
I thought it was fun. I thought playing as Chalice was pretty fun.
I actually only played with Chalice a couple times, and then just played with Mugman Cuphead the rest of the game.
I played Chalice every level, but I like the Sky Kingdom one where you had to go through different like.
Oh yeah, the ones where you have to
boss.
parry to attack. Dude, the night one was so hard.
Oh yeah, because you had to be so patient for it.
You had to be very quick too.
Yeah, it gave me good hopes on like more Cuphead DLCs if that ever happens. I don't know, probably not.
I think probably a sequel's probably more likely.
There's probably a Cuphead
Cuphead
2.
fans got it good this year. Like, not only did they get the DLC, but they also got the Cuphead show on Netflix, which is pretty good.
Yeah, the Cuphead show was really
I've
good.
only watched Season 1 and, like, a little more than half of Season 2. Really solid show. Definitely recommend
I've read both 2 seasons, but I think Season 3 did come out.
Yeah, Season 3 came out.
Yeah, so I need to start watching that.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch more of that now to finish that up.
Sadly, they were only signed for 3 seasons, so who knows if after that one they're gonna come like have more. But yeah, I thought the Cuphead DLC was pretty fun. It was just as fun as the normal Cuphead game itself, which is pretty cool. I still really appreciate the art style. I appreciate
the art is.
I appreciate the art style. I appreciate the partially 3D backgrounds that they do, made of like craft materials and stuff like that.
Which boss would you say out of the DLC is your favorite? Honestly, in terms of the music, probably the Bootlegger Boogie or whatever that one is. It's called the Moonshine Mob. That one, the one with all the bugs. I like that one because that was the first one I did and has great music.
I did if there was one boss that was the most interesting, I'd say I didn't like any of them because they gave me a huge headache. So.
Oh yeah,
but But the interesting one is that if you do the gravestone puzzle correctly, you get Okay, confession. That is the only boss I've never even gotten to. I haven't even not finished the boss. I don't know how to get to it. Maybe after this recording, he can show me what to do. But that boss looks interesting. You have to collect. You have to buy an item from the shop. Talk to the 3 people standing on the pedestal, and they'll tell you which gravestones to do. And then you'll unlock the secret boss. And
I couldn't figure it out.
It's the biggest. It's interesting because there's
like an angel and devil.
Yeah, and there's a line that crosses back and forth across the screen, and depending on the way you're looking, I'm pretty sure
it changes where it goes.
It changes, so it's like one of those where like your concentration has to be like above like what you would normally have to do with Cuphead.
Yeah. But yeah, Cuphead DLC was pretty solid, I'd say. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would say it was good.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, yeah, I'm just going to let you go into this because I haven't played it. But yeah, there's probably a lot to say.
So, I would claim myself as a diehard Pokemon fan. And
damn right.
I thought they're experimenting with an open world like Breath of the Wild type sized world. And
similar to Legends Arceus, which we'll get to that game next.
Yeah, I thought that it could have been good, but the lack of frame rate, the memory leakage issue, basically it would have memory leakage, so you would have to restart your save file when you started up the game, otherwise your performance would just get worse and worse as you were playing, which is just sad. The amount of glitches that we had, even when I played it, I plan to make a review at some point. I'm recording footage right now. Yeah, I even experienced some glitches that I didn't even see on the internet. Like Pokemon were getting stuck in the walls. And
I saw that.
They would try to run up against the wall and they wouldn't be free, so I would just stare at them. I got that. Otherwise, if there was one thing I would take away from this game is that if they added a little bit more detail to the world, made it a little bit more bright and colorful, and added and at least fix the glitches in the frame rate issue, and it could run on like 60 FPS or like close to that at least. Basically if it ran on like a PS5 or was designed for a PS5, this game could have been amazing. But sadly it had to get released on a Switch, which isn't powerful enough to run what the ideas they had. But if
it can run Breath of the Wild really well.
Yeah. I mean, so it should be able to run Pokemon.
It should be able to do it. It's just they didn't have enough time. It was rushed. That's what it was.
I could tell it was rushed too, sadly. They didn't get time to check over glitches. They didn't have any...
They did actually release an apology, though, about, the issues. And I think they are planning to make a patch that fixes some of the problems, so that there is that, at least.
But if there's one thing that I do really like, is that I could tell they took a lot of time and effort with the Pokemon designs themselves. There's not a single Pokemon in this game that was just added for Gen 9 that I don't like. I think all their designs are really nice. I like the types that they picked. I think they took a lot of time and effort trying to design the new Pokemon, and there's not a single one I don't like. So, yeah, I get the impression that they were trying really hard. or they had an idea, but I think Nintendo told them to like suck it up. You're releasing it at this point, no matter how bad it looks.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe they can skip out on next year, maybe, and then 2024 can have like a really good Pokemon game.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hopefully, but
or maybe stick back to 2D and 3. Like Pokemon Black and White, I think was the perfect combination because they would have like 3D backgrounds. Like the world was generated as 3D, but it was like the overhead perspective still.
Yeah.
But your sprites were 2D, but they were moving 2D sprites, and that was
kind of like Octopath Traveler, I guess.
Yeah, and it was really good combination. And I think like something like a Black and White style would still work today, but
I don't know. I think maybe I don't know. It's a subjective sort of thing, but like I feel like probably 3D models is probably the best way to go at this point, just because it looked kind of weird compared to other.
Well, I'm just saying every 3D Pokemon game that's come out, like 3D model Pokemon game, hasn't been like
the best
ever. I mean, in my opinion, I've liked the majority of them aside from X and Y. X and Y was the only one I really wasn't that happy about. But like Sun and Moon, I thought was good. I thought Sword and Shield were pretty good.
You're gonna piss off a lot of people.
Okay, I mean now Sword and Shield's a little iffy to me now, but at the time I was playing it, I was having a lot of fun with it. I just liked the atmosphere it gave me because it kind of gave me that like Scotland, England vibe when I was playing it, and
that was cool.
And I really liked that. Plus that was like their first like major attempt on the Switch to make like a Pokemon game like that. So I kind of cut them some slack a little bit. But but like even if that was like unfinished or whatever, the way that like this Scarlet and Violet was, this was really not good.
Yeah. Hopefully they can do better in the future.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
But let's go, instead of going into the future, let's go a little bit further behind and go to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, I did get this game, but I only played like an hour of it. So I'll let you take over again.
So this is much different from your normal Pokemon game. I know Scarlet and Violet is, but the premise of this is a lot different. Normally, I like the stealth thing where you have to try and catch Pokemon and stuff like that. The game can be boring. That's the thing. The lack of fighting trainers, especially in Scarlet and Violet too, because in Scarlet and Violet, you get to choose whether or not you get to fight trainers instead of like before in Pokemon games, you kind of had to progress through the story.
Yeah.
But like in this game, you kind of just roam around, you catch Pokemon or fight Pokemon. You can like collect materials and stuff like that. I did like the atmosphere it gave. I thought the design of the worlds were kind of nice because it was supposed to give you like an old time, like mountain, like Japanese, Asian type of vibe. And I thought they did that very well. And I thought the worlds that they created, some of them were well designed. And there was like maybe
some that were unfinished.
Yeah, there was like one or two that were very like lazy the way they looked and stuff like that. And didn't have much like character to them. But overall, I think as a game that was meant to experiment with a different style of Pokemon, I think that this did a pretty good job. Or at least it gave me hope at the time that a 3D game or a 3D style Pokemon game could be really good. But sadly, like Scarlet and Violet showed that they need a lot more time in order to perfect that.
Yeah.
But if Nintendo ever releases like a home console again, or like a home console that like a PS5, Xbox, where it can run a lot better and actually have the room and capacity to like handle something as like big as what they're trying to shoot for with Pokemon, then honestly this idea could work really well.
I think so too. It just seems like Pokemon's kind of just held back just because of limitations with the Switch, but I don't know. Or maybe it's just because they don't know how to develop a game.
There could be different. We don't work
multiple reasons.
We don't work at Game Freak or whatever, so we have no clue.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, we have no clue what's going on. So honestly, they in their minds they could think that they are releasing a good title. They could not care. It could just be release dates and having to push out a game.
I don't know.
We don't know. So
that goes for all these games, but yeah. So now Pokemon. Oh god. Oh god. Switch Sports. Oh man. This was interesting. Okay, so Switch Sports was okay. So this was after Wii Sports Club on the Wii U. This is technically the next like Wii Sports game. And okay, Wii Sports Club is not that good, but this game is very disappointing because this game costed. it was $40 digitally, but you could also get like a $50 like box, like for like physically that came with like the leg strap. This game only has 6 sports. They're all very quick, and there's barely much to do. The only real reason you would play this game is for the online stuff if you want to play as like a squirrel or something like that. That is the only reason to play. I know they're adding like the golf minigame soon, but like there's way too little to this game. It feels like a tech demo. And like I know that the original Wii Sports was a tech demo as well, but like it felt more complete. I don't feel like this game, there's not enough to this game at all to really keep you to come back to play it at all.
I would have to agree. I think if you had a group of 4 friends together, it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think then it's fun.
Especially like playing the tennis game and stuff like that.
Bowling too.
Yeah, but like
I know bowling's not as good, but like I still liked it.
Oh yeah, but I like the thing with the bowling too, where they added like the what's it called,
the like obstacles.
Yeah, the obstacles. I thought that was kind of funny, but overall, I thought this game this was so hyped because everybody wanted this, and then not a single word was said about it right after it was released.
No, people complained about it. That's what happened.
Really? I didn't hear a single thing about it. Everyone just kind of like dipped from it.
Well, nobody talks about it anymore because of. I can't imagine that the online's very strong for this game. It's just a shame, and also we also probably should mention the character designs. I think people were making it seem way worse. They don't look that horrible.
They don't look that bad.
I think, like, obviously compared to Mii's, obviously the Mii's are more iconic, but like these new character designs are nowhere near as bad as what people make them out to be. Like, I know like art is subjective and whatnot, blah blah blah, but they made it seem way worse. They look fine.
I just think that they didn't need to try this hard creating a whole new design for Wii Sports, especially or Nintendo Switch Sports, but I think they could have literally just kept. Honestly, if they would have ported Wii Sports and made it Nintendo Switch Sports and it would have been just a port, and they would have just claimed it was a port, honestly, I would have been fine with that.
They could have just done the same with, like, they could have just taken Resort.
Yeah, if they ported Resort and just been like, hey, you can use your Switch now to play Wii Sports Resort, I would have been like, sweet.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would have had a lot of fun with that.
I don't know. It has even less sports than Resort, but like, I mean, that's not the worst thing ever. I don't know. This was a disappointment. They could have really done much better. And kind of continuing on where Nintendo went wrong this year, Mario Strikers Battle League, which suffered the same fate as a lot of the other Mario Sports games do on the Switch. Actually, all of them, because the gameplay of this game is actually really good, and the like animation and the visuals of this game are really good, really awesome. But there is nothing to do. There's like exhibition matches and then the online. There's like tournament mode, but like it's basically just exhibition, but now it's like structured in a tournament. That is all you can do in the game. And I know they're adding like DLC and stuff like that. Like recently they just added like, I think Bowser Jr. into the game. But it's just like, why not like add more modes or something like that? Or more...
Story
mode would be cool. I haven't played the other Mario Strikers games, so I'm not sure how those games work content-wise, but this is not... This isn't acceptable for 2022.
I think that even if you had a group of friends to play this together, I think that after like a couple matches, I feel like it could instantly just get old.
Possibly.
Yeah, but actually, I mean, like Mario Strikers is just really fun, so I can see it.
The gameplay itself is fun.
Yeah, I can see people playing this, but like if you don't have a ton of friends, it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? And even so, I think Super Mario Sluggers, I know a completely different sport, like is baseball. That at least had a story mode of its own. I know it's I know people are iffy on like whether or not it's good or not. I remember playing it as a kid and liking it, but at least it's an option to do when you don't really have that much friends.
Yeah, at least with like Mario Sensations and Mario Golf Super Rush, those had adventure modes, so it was at least something to do.
In either way, Mario Super Sluggers, playing it by yourself is still a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Maybe I would probably if I like in my.
They tried to make this game too online oriented. This and Nintendo Switch Sports were too online oriented, and it backfired.
I don't know. I don't own Nintendo Switch Online at the moment, so like to me, it's like, well, I have to look forward to like what I can do offline on the game, and if
I wouldn't get this.
Yeah, game. I can see myself playing like 1 or 2 games of this, and then I would kind of like just put it down.
Yeah. So yeah, those two games were not the best. It was just disappointing, but now we got Cult of the Lamb, so kind of taking a break from the No, I didn't want to do that. One moment, people. Damn it. All right. Cult of the Lamb. So, I did not play this game, but you go on ahead because you played it.
I like the uniqueness of this game. Basically, you were the last lamb or sheep or whatever, and you get sacrificed, and then you come back basically as like a god. Not a god, like a demon god or whatever. And your goal is you have a camp, and you have to get like, you have to gain villagers and stuff like that in order to beat these 4 other demons and then the main demon. So there's like 5 demons in total that you have to beat. So it's kind of got like an Animal Crossing feel because you have to take care of the villagers, otherwise they'll die. But then you also have the dungeon runner element of it where you get weapons. They give you random weapons, and then you have to go through dungeons, and then you have to slay enemies in order to save more like cult members, or to get to beat the bosses and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a Binding of Isaac / Animal Crossing type of thing, if that's the best way to explain it to someone who's never played it before. But really interesting art style for an indie game. I give them 2 thumbs up, and I think overall the uniqueness of it and all it adds to it, I think that this game was really good, and I did have a lot of fun playing this, and I definitely would play it again. I know at the time of its release it was super popular amongst everybody, and I know it was a really popular game. But yeah, overall, I recommend Cult of the Lamb. I know it comes on sale a lot, and I know you can get it for a cheap price digitally. And I know the PS5, you can get like a deluxe edition that comes with all these goodies and stuff like that, and the box art is really cool. So yeah, I totally recommend Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it soon enough. I might get it on Xbox probably. Because I'm going to be getting a lot of gift cards for that, so, yeah. Now on to Gran Turismo 7. So, this is a game that was, okay, this game when it first came out was well received, but eventually people noticed that this game has awful online DRM in the sense that if you want to play the game, you have to be connected to internet, and also the microtransactions in the game are not as good as that of what was in Gran Turismo Sport, and that pissed a lot of people off, and to the point where lots of people were review bombing the game on Metacritic, which is why, like, if you go to like the Metacritic like page for Gran Turismo 7, like the actual score is like 87, but like the actual user review score is like a 2.0 or something like that, and the game is nowhere near that bad. I know that those are more so problems that are outside of the game, because the game itself is really, really solid. I mean, it's basically Gran Turismo Sport with the content of the previous Gran Turismo games, and I'd say it mashed them well together, and it's my favorite Gran Turismo game. So, I feel like people are kind of over-exaggerating on that end. I mean, I understand the online DRM, that is an issue, but like, I don't know. The game's still fun, and it's not like the servers go down all the time either. But I think the game is really solid. The game is gorgeous, too. I mean, Gran Turismo games have always been pretty good looking, but this game is beautiful. Nothing else to really say on it. It's basically a driving simulator, like a real driving simulator. It's really solid. I definitely recommend it if you like car kind of games. But, yeah. Then we've got... Oh, Garfield Lasagna Party. You might be wondering why we're putting this in here, and that's because my boy Jackson wanted to talk about it. He'll make a full video about the game later down the line, but I guess you can give them the spark notes, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm making a review of it, so I'm not going to go into too much. But
Mario Party clone.
To summarize it, yeah, it's a Mario Party clone. There was some things I thought they added in here that made it interesting. I thought the graphics and the colors looked nice. Is that this is like one of the most like rushed together unfinished games I've ever played. It's like they had the bait. This is literally like a demo. This is literally like a full blown like E3 like
demo.
Build. That's literally what this is. I'm not even lying. It had so much potential to actually be good. And it's shocking to say that because at first look at this, it looks like it's going to be an absolute pile of dog shit, and I expected that. But when I played it, I'm like, wow, I actually had like a minor bit of fun playing this. But there's no challenge to it. The games can be easily rigged. Like, you could easily be really far ahead and they can just rig it to let the bots win or whatever. Even with, like, maybe with, like, if you had some friends with you, there's a small chance that this game could be a lot of fun. But, it's just, you don't even have to unlock everything. They give you everything. There's only 4 characters to choose from, which are the ones that you see right there. And there's only one map, which is the one that you can see under them. That's literally it. So that, yet again, that's why I say it's kind of like an E3 tech demo. There's just nothing really to it that screams like this is a full game.
It's a licensed game, so there is that. But like, even so,
yeah, but
that game is bad.
I mean, honestly, this is probably better than Garfield Kart. Maybe I'll buy that and review that at some point. I'm not lying. There's Garfield Kart.
I know that's a thing.
I'll buy Garfield.
I've seen it before.
I'll take one for the team and I will buy Garfield Kart. But
all right.
Yeah. This that's it. It's just
you'll get into it a little bit more in your reaction review. So then we got Horizon Forbidden West. So this is the game that was basically overshadowed by Elden Ring. I did play through this game and I thought it was pretty good. Would you say so?
Aside from God of War, I would give this a close, like, I would actually tie this #1 with God of War for my possible game of the year, because I completely forgot about how much fun I had playing this game.
It's so good.
I
did think the game, like, when I made the original review, I did think the game was a little too similar to the first game, but honestly, I don't really think that that's much of an issue. I think at the time I was just a little underwhelmed with that, but I still thought the game was really good and beautiful, too.
I think that the gameplay itself was a case of if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
That didn't disappoint me. I also think that, by the way, this picture right here, that's how the game looks, like, in it, and that's how the like environment looks. They decided to add a lot more.
I think the environment looks really good in this game, much better than the first game.
They decided to add a lot more color into the game, a lot more uniqueness into the game. The story was pretty good. There's a lot of exploration you can do. Overall, if you bought this game, it would give you a ton of hours to just waste.
Oh yeah, and you can fly a machine as well in the game, which is awesome.
Yeah, overall, I think that I'm trying to remember as much as I can think when I first played this at the beginning of the year, but I think that this was definitely a good sequel, and it's kind of sad that no one really brings this up anymore, especially for how good it was at the time.
It was Elden Ring, so yeah.
I don't even
F Elden Ring.
God of War basically died out after like 2 weeks. I don't really hear it on social media anymore. Also,
I still hear about it sometimes on YouTube. I don't use social media anymore, but like I mean I use YouTube.
But Elden Ring compared to these two is just like it's non-stopping. It's just every day.
It's just annoying.
Every day I have to hear things or like memes about Elden Ring, and like I don't want to take that away from how good the game probably is.
It is a fine game. It's just there's other fine games too.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Horizons and God of War I'd also like to give a lot more love to. And also the new Horizons VR game is coming out.
That game looks so cool, but it's like it's only on the PlayStation VR too. That's so shameful.
So I have a PS4 VR and I
do too.
I have the cord that you can connect to translate the PS4 into like the PS4 headset to the PS5. Like,
I don't.
They were offering those cords for free in case.
I don't even use PlayStation VR.
So,
I have an Oculus Quest 2. I bought that earlier this year. No reason.
So my PSVR, I technically can use it on my PS5, technically.
But the thing is, you can't use that to play the game.
I can't. Okay, I was about to ask. So I can't use that to play the new Horizons.
I don't believe you can. I think you have to buy the new headset and the new PlayStation
for $550.
Yeah, and you know what's worse? It's probably going to be sold out. People are going to eat it up regardless. Even that price is ridiculous to me, but people are still going to be scalping it. Because I feel like that's just how people are.
It's just, I need a bigger library of games to even consider.
I think it's called Call of the Winds. Is that right?
Probably. I have no clue.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, why would I drop $550 on a headset? On a virtual headset when I already have the PS4 one and plus
Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain. Okay. Yeah, so like the only PS5 headset game or VR headset game I can think of right now is Horizon's Call of the Mountain. But like there's probably some other little games out there.
Yeah, there are some other ones,
but like nothing's being advertised though, and I don't know. Like you really gotta convince me to spend $550 on a VR headset like that, you really gotta convince me to do that.
I honestly almost wish that the game could be played like without the VR heads. But okay, I know that sounds bad, but like it would make the game.
True.
It would make it so that more people can play.
I
guess
agree.
I would love to play it. It would be really cool. But it's
agree.
just like I'm not paying $500.
No, totally. If the game was just like a DLC or like an extra little like, hey,
they're making DLC, I think, for Forbidden West.
It could have just been like, hey, Horizons fan, you want a little cookie or something? Like, boom,
you want to play
like
Forbidden West in VR?
Or not even VR. Just like, hey, you want like a little Horizons game to play? Like, because, I don't know, maybe you like Horizons, and we just wanted to release this.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that's a bit off topic, but we should still try and throw it in there. But yeah, Forbidden West was pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
Then we got God of War Ragnarok. Now, I have a confession to make. I have not played this game yet. I'm planning to get the game for Christmas. I didn't really feel the need to get it on launch, so you go through because you played it.
According to my PlayStation, I played over like 100 hours of this. I don't know how.
You platinumed it.
I did platinum it too. It's an easy platinum, but I'm not used. I don't know. I kind of suck at games like this, so it was a little rougher for me, but I still managed to get through it. Overall, amazing sequel to the last God of War that they released.
God of War 2018.
Yeah, the last God of War that they made. I thought the story was really cool. This game definitely set the bar, or it definitely set a standard for how PS5 games should look.
Yeah.
Because I have not once. I did not have any graphic errors. I did not have any frame drop errors.
Or like visual glitches.
Glitches. No, it ran perfect 60 FPS throughout the entire time. Even during big boss battles or moments where you would believe that
the game would just have frame drops, but no.
Yeah, not like a Destroy All Humans 2 type of thing. That game, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That game came out this year, but like we're not throwing it in the list.
Yeah, but overall, if you were to tell me to vote for a game of the year, I would probably just give it to God of War.
Or Horizon. You're not going to necessarily say it's your game of the year.
No, more so God of War. I would just say more so God of War. But I also appreciate for how big the worlds that they create. There's 9 realms, and for how huge they are, and how much, like, how well the game runs. Especially for a game that's only 80 gigabytes. I know that's a lot, but for how big the game is and for how well the game is.
Compared to other games that are so much bigger, this game really isn't that big for how big it is.
For like how Call of Duty games look, being like over 1 trillion gigabytes, it makes no sense for me. It's no sense to me, like at all.
I made a complaint about console storage before in a video.
Yeah,
God of War's really
there's
good.
So many things about this game I appreciate a lot, and overall, the only complaint I have is that I personally just didn't get much, like, excitement. I don't know. It could have just been me.
It's really because you did play the 2018 game, and then that kind of...
Not excitement. Just excitement while playing it, because it was just... The gameplay at some points just got really monotonous.
Yeah.
It was just like...
I kind of remember that a bit from God of War PS4.
It just got monotonous, and that was the only thing that I really can complain about. Everything else in the game, I think, set a really good standard, and I think that this game will be really memorable.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing the game soon, and I'll definitely be making a review of it, so, yeah. So now we've got Sonic Frontiers. So this is a bit of a surprise. So when this game was revealed in all those trailers, so many people were like, oh, this game is going to be really, really good. I was like, I'm sure Sega can make a great trailer, but then the game comes out in its alpha stage. But surprisingly enough, this game was actually pretty solid. Like, I know you didn't play it, but like this game was pretty good. Now this was an open world Sonic game, and like whenever Sonic games try to be experimental, usually they flop. That's what happened with Sonic Forces, but Sonic Frontiers is actually pretty good. Now I do have some issues with the games. I think the controls are not the best, and I feel like Sonic doesn't go fast enough at the beginning of the game, and you gotta like level that stuff up, which I think I forgot to mention that in my review. The leveling system in the game is so weird. So you have to find like these small little like guys all over the map, and you have to take them to like this elder, I don't know what he's called, but then he gives you like more speed or more rings or whatever, or like improves your stats. Like you'd think to improve your stats you do stuff like defeat enemies or do stuff like that, but no, that's kind of weird. But
I guess in theory it's an interesting idea. So I mean, I guess I give them credit for that. It's not just like running. At least there's like running and trying to get the best speed at least, or like best time. At least there's something like different in it to like, I don't know. At least break up like just doing the same thing. Or like
boss fights were also a little bit annoying, except for the final one, because the final boss, spoiler alert, was the easiest boss of the whole game.
Really?
I actually didn't die on that boss fight. It was super easy. The other bosses were actually pretty difficult. Even like when you're supersonic, it's like way harder than it needs to be. But the game was still really solid. I really enjoyed it. I would say if you aren't the biggest into Sonic, but like even so, and you're kind of on the fence, I'd recommend getting it. Maybe get it for like a discount or something like that, because it is really solid. I think the game's really good. I made a review of this game as well, so you can check that out. So, you don't have a lot to say on this one, but I do have a lot to say. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. So, I played Fire Emblem 3 Houses last year. That was the first Fire Emblem game I played, and that was my favorite one. I would say it was probably my favorite game I played last year, but like, when they announced that they were making a Warriors spin-off, I was really excited because, oh cool, they're going to do that. And so they did that, and the game is okay. So, okay, I think it is pretty solid in terms of the game itself. It is a really good game. It is pretty solid, but like, I feel like I'm much more aware of this game's problems. Like, I think the story of the game, now granted, it's split into 3 routes, and I've only played the Scarlet Blaze route, but I thought the Scarlet Blaze route was pretty meh. I kind of thought that they should have done a lot more with it. And I think like the whole new thing with like having a new protagonist facing off against the old protagonist was a cool idea, but I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. I kind of feel like in the promotional stuff, I felt like Violet was going to be a lot more of an antagonist than he is when is in the final game. Like, I really like how strong and scary they make him seem, but he doesn't do very much. And it's kind of like, I kind of wish they actually got in your way more to really make you question their morals and stuff like that. I also think that the game, like visually, the game does actually run better than Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, because I played the demo of that game. It ran super badly, and that made me not buy it. But this game actually runs rather well, but it doesn't look the best in my opinion. Probably just because Three Houses doesn't look the best art-wise, but yeah. I could go on about this game all day long, but it has some really good music, and the new character designs are really fun. And yeah, I'm glad they put the Ashen Wolves in there. And I like Shez more as a protagonist than Violet. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to really say on this game. It does kind of suck, though, that we're not going to be getting DLC for this game since they announced Engage DLC recently. So that's something. But yeah, we're moving on because I could talk about this game for another 5 years. Now we're getting into like some of the higher games. So we got Splatoon 3. So I dropped this game really fast. Like after okay, I played the game for like 2 weeks straight, and then I stopped playing it. You haven't played it yet, have
No.
You are playing it again for Christmas, correct?
I do want to play it. I've never really played a Splatoon game, so I really just want to...
They are actually quite fun, but like, yeah. I'd say Splatoon 3 is the best game in the series, but I would also say that it's the one I've played the least of, and I honestly just have not played this game. I fell out of Splatoon online multiplayer. I don't like playing online anymore. I just feel like people try hard way too much in this game. Salmon Run is better, but it's more just the same thing. And like, I feel like I'm eating my words because I felt like before release, I was kind of like, they don't have to change too much, but as long as they have some new stuff, I don't really mind. But I feel like now there isn't enough new stuff to keep me excited. Like, they made like a bunch of additions that are really cool. Like, they allow you to like run around like an arena and stuff like that while you're like matchmaking and whatnot. The single player mode is actually the best single player mode of the series in my opinion, because it's actually really well made. And they also have the table turf, which is cool, but I feel like the game, like, it's really good and the quality of it's really good, but it's just, I feel like as somebody who played a lot of Splatoon 1 and 2, I just didn't get into this game. Maybe it's just because I've kind of fell out of Splatoon a lot more like in recent years than I used to, but yeah. Splatoon 3 was really good, but it was also kind of just like it was a there kind of game. Now we're going to be moving into the big games. We got Stray.
Cat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Cat. The game. Cat. This game is really good. Now, I will say that if if the next game wasn't my game of the year, this would definitely be my game of the year. This is such a unique game.
I like the protagonist being, of course, a cat. I think that made it a lot easier.
I like how it actually feels like you're playing as a cat, too.
I also thought that the story was really easy and to follow, and I think that you could easily understand what was going on without having to pay attention too much. So it made it much more relaxing to play at some points.
Yeah.
The only problem I had is that there was one part of the game that really was unsettling to me.
What part?
It was the part with all the eyes.
I don't remember that part.
You don't remember that part? So there's a part where it's like some fleshy thing, and then it's like tons of eyes and stuff like that. Which that type of stuff like freaks me out really bad.
You know what? I may possibly remember that a little bit.
Like seeing a big eyeball, like not even blinking, watching me. That stuff makes me like super uncomfortable. And that was like the only thing. That's just a me thing though. That's not them. Like that was just me. But aside from that,
I love how this game looks though. The game is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it looks really good. I think that.
And you play as a cat.
Yeah.
Like cats are like the best animals on earth, honestly.
I
don't know. I'm not gonna be very firm with that because that's a bold statement.
I like the environment designs.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love this cyber city kind of thing.
I think they did really well at that.
I think the gameplay's pretty solid too.
Yeah, overall, it's kind of like God of War. There's a lot of this. I really do appreciate what they did for this game and what they put into it.
I just like how unique it is. It's not every day you get to play as a cat. So yeah, this would be my game of the year, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land is my game of the year. Now I will, like I said at the very beginning of this video, I personally feel that while this game is my game of the year, I did kind of feel like this was kind of the game I kind of just felt I had to choose because. I don't know, there wasn't really anything that really jumped out the most, but I do think Kirby and the Forgotten Land is really, really solid because this was the first true 3D Kirby game, and this game is so good. I love the music, I love the visuals, I love the environment design, I love the level design, I love the gameplay. It's so good. It is so good. I have very few problems with this game. In fact, I don't think I have any real notable issues with this game. It is absolutely superb. You played a little bit of it too, right?
I did. I really appreciate that they took a risk with a different style of Kirby, like more open, 3D level design and stuff like that.
So this is the first time they did. It was so long that we had to wait for a 3D Kirby game, and it was so good.
I really like that they didn't take away all the color that Kirby games usually have. It's really bright and appealing.
Oh yeah.
It's really. The level, not structure, but the levels themselves feel really cool. Yeah, they feel really nice.
I especially love the world where it's the amusement park. That was a really cool world.
Yeah, I think that it gives you a lot of time to play through the game because then you can go back and get collectibles or do like the extra side things that you need to do.
The collectibles are fun to go through as well.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of replayability. I think that they give a lot in the game too. There's a lot of levels, so even beating the game could take a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff to do as well.
Yeah, overall, I thought that for a Kirby game that was taking a risk and trying to experiment, I think that they hit the nail on the head. I think they implemented a lot of different things that actually worked well, and it did feel really satisfying to actually get a Kirby game that, years down the line I can come back to and play and still have fun with.
Yeah, this game was absolutely amazing. 100% my game of the year. So, yeah, that was the video. So, how do you feel about this year as a whole, gaming-wise?
I think that there was some major ups and some hopes that in the future we can learn, hopefully, that we can learn from our mistakes and make some really outstanding video games, but there was just so many levels of mid. Yeah,
there were a lot of stuff like the Pokemon games.
It's like there wasn't really anything that was atrocious.
But there wasn't anything. There wasn't enough that was
It was just
super good.
It was just so it was just more like disappointment more than anything. Just
not to say a bunch of these games were disappointing. There's still some good games in here, but it's just there were a lot of games in here that could have been so much better.
No, and it looked like, by the way that they would play, it looked like as if they had the opportunity to go way above and beyond and do what I believe that some of them would want to do for their games.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that there was some really good high points. I think that 2021 was also really nice.
The Sony games were really solid.
Yeah.
I think, like Stray and Kirby the Forgotten Land were really solid. Sonic was actually a pretty good surprise.
I know there's a lot of things supposed to be coming out in 2023.
There's like Fire Emblem Engage, there's Spider-Man 2.
I'm really hoping that what was released this year is kind of like a hint to what could be
2023 is going to be
going above and beyond for 2023. So I'm hoping. I have good hopes for next year. With what was released this year, I'm just hoping that they don't overthink it. I just hope that they don't overthink it and they just work hard making something that functions well, looks well, and just plays well. It's fun. That's basically about it.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, that was the discussion video, more of a podcast than anything else.
Yes.
So, let us know in the comment section what your game of the year was, or some of your game of the year, some of the games you played this year that you really enjoyed, and yeah. And also, if you want to check out Jackson's channel, the link to his channel will be in the description down below. But with that being said, this is N67 signing off. Peace out and have a good day, peoples.
See ya.